Okay, let's go. So I'm Pascal Auguste from MIT1. I'm CTO and the founder also. And we will have a few minutes to explain. I will have a few minutes to explain what is FlashWire. That's a very short presentation. So just to give you an idea of what this product does. And sure, if you want to have some more information, you can contact us and we can go in depth with this product. I can talk about this product for half an hour or 2 days. That's up to you. Depends on the time you have. So first, who is M81? We are a French company. We are software. We are creating system software, and we based on the IBMI. There's FlashWire. We have two products: FlashWire, which is the goal of this presentation, and Control for I, that I made a presentation half an hour, 1 hour ago. And the goal is of Control for I is to include your IBMI partition into your enterprise monitoring process with Nagios, PRTG, SolarWinds, etc., and have your IBMI monitored by those tools. Some words about the company. It's 10 years and 1 month old, and we are selling through a network of partners, and we have 38 or 39 now. There are more than 600 end users company that are using one of our products in 23 countries over the world, and more than we went over 1,000 partitions in January, something like that. And I told you 23 countries, most in Europe because that's where we start, and some in Africa, and Renault that you have seen there is now dedicated to invite Americas, North and South. Okay, now let's talk about FlashWire. To explain you what is this product and what it does, let's pretend that I am the IT manager of one company, which is the M company. And my name is Mario. It's not Pascal anymore, it's Mario. And you have a picture of me here. And our company, we are creating tubes and things like that. So we have a lot of work, and the company began 20 years ago. At this time, we had one office and one factory in France and worked on a Power 5 with 250 gigabytes of data. 10 years ago, we installed an office in USA with a warehouse, and the database now was 10 years ago 700 gigabytes, and now we have orders by internet, a lot of pictures, and the database is 3 terabytes. It's much more. The planning 20 years ago, we had the batch here, and for the batch it was easy to have backups before and backup after. And we had the time to make a Save 21 every Sunday. And this is when the users were connected at the office and in the factory. Now, there are United States users, so the time frame is not the same. And you can see that it's much extended. There's the internet access that is supposed to be all the time. And we have the batches take more time, and it's not possible anymore to run backup before, only after. And you can see that the backup takes 3 hours, but it takes also during a part of the interactive users in France or in USA. And during the backup, we still stop the internet connection. So it's not obvious, and it's not a good situation. In addition, in my company, the sales department did ask me to have a 24 hours access for the internet, non-stop. The BI department said that they need to have the database stable without any change for something like 1 hour every day for them to prepare the BI model. There's new requests from the security department They say that if we have want to see something, even if we want to fix a bug and need to have an access to the real production data, it's not possible anymore on the production itself. We have to do it somewhere else or another way. And they say, if we are protecting about ransomware, but what happens if we have an attack and that everything is corrupted? What can we do? So a lot of questions, and I don't know how to fix all this. So I called my business partner, and you can see my business partner here. She's very nice, beautiful, and very efficient. And she found a solution for us. She said, why don't you make an instant copy of your production data, of your production disk, and even several instant copy. I said, how can we do an instant copy? Well, use flash copy or snapshots. What is flash copy or snapshots? Well, in fact, flash copy and snapshots is a function that is integrated to the disk array, to the storage systems. It's called flash copy in the IBM world, so DS8K or SVC, flash systems or Storwize. It's called snapshots for the other manufacturers. And in the last versions of the IBM storage, it's also called snapshot. There's another version that is called snapshot. How does it work? What does it do? It creates a virtual clone of all the disks. So if you have 10 terabytes for the production system, it will instantly, in 1 second, create a clone. You will have the same 10 terabytes of data. The initial content is exactly the same. So at the instant where you start the flash copy or the snapshot, you have exactly the same data. But after, and after you can use them immediately, so you can read and write on both sides immediately after the beginning of the snapshot or the flash copy. And source and clone disk are totally independent. It's hard to believe, but it's real. Sure, inside the box, there's a lot of things that are happening. I can explain you, but not today. We don't have the time. But call me, and I can explain you. But what you have to do to know, if you have 10 terabytes for the production, in 1 second, you will have 10 terabytes for the clone. They will be, the initial data are the same. After that, they are totally independent. You can read and write one side, read and write the other side without to have any conflict. And you could even change the version, could go from 7.3 to 7.4 on one partition without to change anything on the other one. And it works. So what can we do with that? This is the external storage, so a flash system, for example. And these are the virtual disks that are defined for the production partition. And on the production partition, there are users and internet commands or internet orders. So normal situation. You have to install flash drive on the production system, and then you make a first flash copy. With this first flash copy, it creates an instant copy of your data. You do it at 2 a.m. and at 2 a.m. plus 1 second, you have your data. And then you map those disks, or flash drive will map those disks to a clone partition. The result is that you have your production data. It took 1 second, in fact, 1 or 2 minutes to do that, to do all the process. After 2 minutes, your users and your internet access are as usual, no change. And here you have your real data from 2 a.m. and you can use them to make a backup. And this backup will be managed by flash drive with BRMS or with your own CL program, and or do a SAFE21. And this, as there are no users and no job on this clone partition, there are no lock, so you can do whatever you want, even a SAFE21 game. Okay, that's for the backup. And then for the test, how can we do the test? And if there's a problem, or for the BI, how do they do? We can do a second flash copy. And this second flash copy will be mapped to second clone partition. On this second clone partition, we want to have an external access by the users. So a part of FlashRI will reconfigure the IP configuration, the net server, the relational database entries, etc., and a lot of things. And when it's done, then it's possible to extract the data and send them to the data warehouse. And when this is finished, then the developers can come and use this partition to test. They have the data as they were at 2 a.m. and no locks. And again, they can do and change whatever they want. It's real data production, but they can change anything. Good. And then what about the ransomware? For the ransomware, this could be attack and encrypted. This is readable and writable, so it could be encrypted also, and this also. There's another structure in the Flash system that is called safeguarded, and you can create safeguarded copies. And you will copy, FlashRI will also create safeguarded copies here in this environment, and you can do it 2, 3 times or 4 times or whenever you want during the day. So have several copies, and those are immutable copies. It means no one can read or write them. There's a specific procedure if you need to read or write on them. But in a normal state, no one can touch them. So not possible to encrypt them. Good. So next day, what do we do? Next day at 2 a.m., we stop everything. You can see that the safeguarded copies are still there, and they will remain there for a few days or weeks if you want. So next day at 2 a.m., stop the Flash copy, start it again, and start the backup again. And the same for the clone 2, start the Flash copy, extract the data, and use it for test. And this can be done automatically, scheduled by your preferred scheduler. And during the day, the safeguarded copy will be created when you need. Good. This is a good idea, but I have a lot of questions. How much time do I have to stop my production? Do I have to stop the production? Will I have 3 times 10 terabytes on my Flash system? Do I have to write programs? How do I monitor those 2 additional partitions? How can I be sure that the backup is correct? So first question, how much time do I have to stop the production partition? Well, it depends. If that's for, the best, if it's possible to stop your users for 2 minutes, then it's very good because you have everything stable. No write on the production, and you can start the Flash copy. If it's not possible to find 2 minutes, then it's good to find 1 or 2 minutes where there's no batch job, no big batch job, and just a minimum of interactive users. And with this, it works. And there are many things that we need many options that we can find to find this time. And again, if your application uses commitment control and journals, then it's even not needed to stop anything. Everything will be stable and correct. Okay, do I need to have 3 times the disk space? Well, the answer is normally no. Again, it depends. If that's for backup, the goal is to do it every day. So every 24 hours, it's not necessary to copy everything. There's something called space efficient. In fact, space efficient was the old name. Now I don't remember how they call it, but the result is the same. It does not use the same disk space as the original disk. Even then, it's not possible to copy 10 terabytes in 1 second. So there's some magic inside. So with this kind of space efficient disk, you only need between 5 and 20% of the original disk space. Depends on your workload and what you do with the partition. So not much. But if you want to do a UAT partition, a test partition that you will use for 1 month, maybe it's better to consider 50% of the original space or 100%. but most of most of customers use the clone for backup, so less than 20%. Do I have to write programs? The answer is no. Everything is delivered by the product. It's possible to write programs, but it's not necessary if you want to use it for the basic. And if to start the first flash copy and to start the first clone partition, then to run the backup, there's only one command to schedule in your production partition. Just schedule this command. It will take 1 or 2 minutes. And after that, all the rest is totally automatic. For your BI and text partition, that's the same command with another environment name that will automatically start the flash copy and the partition and start the reconfiguration on the clone partition. And this is done by a configuration itself. So by a definition in the product. So nothing to program. All this is changed by only parameters. And for the safeguarded copy, there's also one command. There's another type of definition. And this command, you can use it during the day. So just commands to put in your favorite scheduler, no program. How do I monitor the additional partitions? In fact, in the product, it includes a connection to the production system, and many logs, many messages, many informations are sent back to the production. In this, this includes internal logs, and if there's an error somewhere, there's an error message, and there's one command to check the error message. And if that's BRMS, BRMS backup, all the history and everything from BRMS is sent back to the production, and you have an access to all the BRMS data as if the backup would have been done on the production itself. No change. So everything is there. And there's also a module that allows you to send an email if there's an error or when the status changes. So just commands also, and only monitor everything on the production partition itself. How can I be sure that the backup is correct? Well, again, the logs are sent automatically. So on the production, there are a lot of logs and log of information, including the job log that is of the job that made the backup. So you have the job log on the production itself. And if that's BRMS, the entire library is saved and restored on the production. So you have everything from BRMS. So just use BRMS commands. And if you have a specific program, then there's one command that allows you that you can include in your specific program that will send a library or a file or whatever you want to the production. So you will have also the history. Good. So the checks are usual on the production. So good, we're happy. I'm happy, my Luigi, my partner in USA, is also happy. And you can see that we are both happy, our partner is happy, the security guy and CEO is happy, even the customers seems to be happy, but they are never happy customers. Okay, so now it's time for a demo. And I will switch to a real demo, a live demo. FlashArray has to be installed on the partitions, on every production partition. There's a menu. The first part of the menu is the feedback, and the second part is for configuration. I told you that there's one command and one parameter, only one parameter, which is a name of an environment. And the environment has a definition of what to do for a daily backup, full backup, or test or weekly backup. You have a feedback, and the feedback is here with this command. You have the name of the environment that has been used, you know when it has been started, and you can see that there's one cloning starting every day at 2 a.m. or on demand. And you have a status. This says that the flash copy is finished. So that's a terminal status. The partition and the disk don't exist anymore. And we have two clone partition, 1 and 2, and they both have had a BRMS backup done today, and now it's finished. We have internal messages. The FL clone command took 2 minutes and 28 seconds on the production. This is the time for the 22 minutes for the IPL of the clone partition, and the backup took 1 hour and a half. There are internal logs, there are job logs, and the job log of the backup of the job that made the backup itself on the clone partition sent to the production, and the log, the display log command with all the messages that have appeared in the display log command during the backup this morning. Okay, so everything is on the production partition. And if there's an error, it's something is red in red here. We can see here, there's one error message. So it's very easy to see. And again, there's one command to check. A part of the things in the configuration, we need to define the storage and the partition, the clone partition. If I look at this, this is the definition of one of our clone partition. What do I need? The IP address of the HMC, the name of the user that I will use to connect, and the name of the server, the name of the clone partition, and the profile. And that's all. And I have a command that allows me to check that the connection is correct. There's an SSH connection to the HMC that checks that everything is correct, and it says, that's okay, I can connect to the HMC. I can see that the partition is running right now and with a SRC code 0. So the IPL is finished, hopefully, since 2 a.m. this morning. Okay, and in the environment, I will go very quickly. I give the definition of the storage and the partition that I showed you partly. I say, how do we quiesce or flush the memory? There are 2 parameters. What will be the IP address of the clone partition, because it has to talk to the production? And what kind of operation do we do? With this, we do a BRMS backup, and we give here the name of the control group. That could be a save21, and then I give the name of the tape library, the name of the volume, or the name of the program that will give the volume, etc. And there are places to put your own exit programs if you want, and some other parameters. If you want to know more about this or about all the other options, tell us and we can have a more in-depth presentation. But this one was very short. In the PowerPoint, there are some screenshots. Now, if I still have some time, it will be hard. So very quickly, it's possible to have cascading flash copy. So you can have first clone partition where you anonymize the data, and then a real test partition where the developer will work. And if they crash everything, you just have to come back, stop it, and restart it. That's just 20 minutes for the IPL, and that's all. You can make the flash copy on the local site where the production is. If you have a remote copy or a replication, a software replication, the flash copy can be done on the remote disk. Okay, that's it. So the main goal of FlashArray is to make the backup without to stop your application, without to stop your users. You can refresh the test partition automatically very quickly, and you can create immutable copies of your disk to protect if you have a ransomware attack. And our customers are all the time, very happy to use our products and very happy with the support we provide.
After the end of week, a good weekend, of course.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.